The name Jeffrey Dahmer sends chills down the spine. Known as the Milwaukee Cannibal, Dahmer's crimes shocked the world. But beyond the horror lies a story of tragedy, complexity, and a chilling insight into the human mind. This is the story of Jeffrey Dahmer, a journey into darkness. Born on May 21, 1960 in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, Jeffrey Lionel Dahmer was the eldest son of Lionel and Joyce Dahmer. His childhood appeared ordinary on the surface, but cracks soon emerged. Jeffrey was described as a shy and withdrawn boy. His parents' turbulent marriage and eventual divorce left him feeling abandoned and neglected.
Slit them all the way open, look at the organs, feel them.
Can you describe what you were thinking?
It was just mystifying to me how the insides of the animal looked. There was a sort of general excitement for me. I don't know why. It was exciting to see. I was drinking a lot during that time, and just, I don't know, looking for something to, some way to find some fulfillment,
It was during this time that Jeffrey's fascination with death and dissection began, a dark interest that would later define his life. Classmates remembered him as a loner. Despite occasional attempts at humor, he remained distant and detached. Was this the first sign of something sinister brewing within? Aaron turned to face me. Subaron bowed in respect. In June 1978, shortly after graduating high school, Dahmer committed his first murder.
It was a terrible smell, so I went underneath and cleaned it out, the smell of the skunk, and cleaned out whatever else was under, cans and bones, and collected them all. And Jeff did seem to exhibit an interest in the way they clanked as he picked them up and put them back into the metal pail. He just laughed at it, the sound of it, and that was it.
It was sick.
Stephen Hicks, a hitchhiker, became his victim. Dahmer lured him to his family home under the guise of friendship. When Hicks tried to leave, Dahmer bludgeoned him with a dumbbell and later dismembered his body. This act marked the beginning of a horrific spree. But for 9 years, Dahmer managed to suppress his urges. What triggered his return to killing? Between 1987 and 1991, Dahmer claimed the lives of 16 more victims, primarily young men of color, charm and deception to lure them to his apartment, where he would drug, strangle, and mutilate them. Dahmer's methods grew increasingly macabre. He preserved body parts as trophies and even attempted crude experiments, such as trying to create zombies by injecting acid into his victims' brains. These were not just victims. They were sons, brothers, and friends. Their lives were cut short by unimaginable cruelty. Let us not forget their names. Dahmer's reign of terror ended when Tracy Edwards, a would-be victim, escaped and alerted the police.
The oldest sister of Errol Lindsay, whatever your name is, Satan, I'm mad. This is how you act when you are out of control. I don't want to ever see my mother have to go through this again. Never, Jeffrey. Jeffrey, I hate you, motherfucker. I hate you. This is out of control. Don't fuck with me, Jeffrey. I'll kill you. God damn it. Look at me, motherfucker. I can kill you.
What's your name, man?
I can kill you.
Upon entering Dahmer's apartment, officers discovered a house of horrors. Photographs of dismembered bodies, human remains, and chillingly detailed journals. During his trial, Dahmer's demeanor was unsettling. He expressed remorse, but offered little explanation for his actions. Experts debated whether he was insane, but the court ultimately found him legally sane. He was sentenced to 15 life terms in prison. What drives someone like Jeffrey Dahmer? Was it nature, nurture, or a combination of both? Psychologists point to a blend of abandonment issues, suppressed desires, and an inability to form meaningful connections. Dahmer himself admitted to feeling a compulsion he couldn't control. This raises uncomfortable questions about free will and accountability. Are monsters born, or are they made? On November 28, 1994, Dahmer's life ended violently in prison. Christopher Scarver, a fellow inmate, bludgeoned him to death. Some saw it as justice, Others viewed it as another tragic end. Jeffrey Dahmer's story is one of horror but also of lessons. It forces us to confront the darkest corners of humanity and ask difficult questions about mental health, societal neglect, and justice. Though we can never undo the pain caused by Jeffrey Dahmer, we can honor the memory of his victims by seeking understanding and striving for a safer, more compassionate world.